तो ये रहा आपका जो मैंने एपिसोड प्रॉमिस किया था पिछले एपिसोड में। अगर आपने सुना नहीं होगा तो प्लीज़ इफ़ यू वांट टू, लाइक, ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज़ नथिंग great details about what I will be doing eventually in the last episode that I recorded. But yes, अगर आपने सुना होगा तो मैंने ज़रूर बोला था कि मेरा एक अगला एपिसोड आएगा जहाँ पे I'll be inviting someone to talk with me and exploring, as I said, spicy topics back then. So yeah, it's kind of exciting, to be honest, to be with someone on the other side. So put your hands together for Pallavi. She's a dear friend, and she's been a dear friend for quite a long time now. So yeah, Pallavi, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit, or you want to do it for, like, you want me to do it for you a little bit? What do you say? अगर क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा अनस्क्रिप्टेड होगा हमारा, बहुत ज़्यादा इम्प्रॉम्प्टू होगा, बहुत ज़्यादा मैच्योर लेवल का पॉडकास्ट रहा है मेरा ये। दिस इज़ लाइक व्हाट द 6th एपिसोड। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि फॉर्मेलिटीज़ से ज़्यादा ये रहेगा कि जितना रियल रख सको इस एपिसोड को, जितना रॉ रख सकें, यही हमारी कोशिश, मेरी कोशिश रहती है। तो आई गेस इट वुड बी गुड इफ पल्लवी, you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi everyone, this is Pallavi. I'm actually from Kolkata, but right now I'm working in Tripura in the Northeast, and I work in the government sector in the state civil services. And my hobbies include painting and doing physics now, which is weird. But I have studied physics, and I've also completed my master's. But uh, I switched lines, you can say, and now I'm in the civil services.
Basically, Pallavi is one of the most talented people I've ever come across. She's maybe sounding a little humble, which is of course a natural trait for her. It's been that like that for a long time, but she's an amazing painter and a sketch artist. And I guess she used to watch anime for a living, if I'm not wrong. अभी भी देखती है, but then she's a huge anime fan, is what I've understood in all these years. I have known Pallavi for what? I guess 2016 was the year, December. I remember, I had written some answer on Quora, जहाँ पे, like, Quora is, something I used to be very fond of and kind of addicted to back then. And there were a lot of people on Quora, Indians basically, who were, coming, were very, what do you say, vocal about a lot of things. Maybe आज भी चलता है, but it's been like 5-6 years I have hardly used Quora. But तब की बात है, ये 2016 दिसंबर की। मैंने कोई डेटिंग साइट के ऊपर एक आंसर लिखा था जहाँ पे शी लाइक्ड इट एंड शी सेंट मी अ बिग लॉन्ग एस टेक्स्ट। कोरा पे उन्होंने भेजा था एंड इट वाज लाइक कि यू नो अगर आपके लिए कोई एक लंबा टेक्स्ट लिख के भेजता है तो ये लाइक इट नॉर्मली नहीं होता है, इट्स बेसिकली एक अपोजिट जेंडर का इंसान आपको तो इट वाज क्वाइट समथिंग फॉर मी, सो वी एंडेड अप बिकमिंग फ्रेंड्स इवेंचुअली एंड वी हैव स्टेड फ्रेंड्स फॉर ऑल दीज इयर्स। जैसे मैंने पिछली एपिसोड में आपसे बताया था कि मैंने भी सिविल सर्विसेज की पढ़ाई की, तो पल्लवी ऑल्सो जॉइंड अलॉन्ग। द ओनली डिफरेंस इज दैट शी डिड गेट थ्रू इवेंचुअली। तो या, तो दैट्स द इंट्रोडक्शन आई सपोज़ मेरे बारे में। अगर आपको थोड़ी बहुत चीज़ें पता है तो दिस इज़ सौरभ हियर एंड आई एम अ मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर। मेरी हॉबीज़ अभी फ़िलहाल के लिए तो ऐसी कुछ ख़ास है नहीं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम लाइक swimming, if you can include that as a hobby, but it's just a daily essential thing that I do these days. But उसके अलावा ऐसे कुछ specific है नहीं. I do like to listen a lot of different genres of music अभी के लिए. But also I missed out on telling you guys, since we were talking about music, Pallavi is also a trained Hindustani classical singer, vocalist. बट मुझे आज तक ये सौभाग्य कभी मिला नहीं उनकी आवाज़ में कुछ सुनने का, बट देन जस्ट टेलिंग यू गाइस दैट since I said she's one of the most talented people I've come across. Right, Pallavi? Do you want to sing a song maybe for us?
Yeah, I have tremendous stage fright. Sorry, guys, not happening.
सेज फ्रेड की तो अलग ही बात है। मैं इनके साथ फ़ोन पे भी बात कर चुका हूँ। वी हैव मेट सो मेनी टाइम्स, बट आज तक मुझे वो, लाइक आई सेड, सौभाग्य मिला नहीं है। बट येस, तो बेसिकली वी ये पॉडकास्ट तो वैसे आपने आज तक जितने भी एपिसोड सुने हैं There have been a mix of English, Hindi and Marathi podcast. Uh, तो आज का भी वैसे ही होगा आई गेस इट विल बी अ बाइलिंगुअल पॉडकास्ट या लाइक इंग्लिश में होगा ये जहाँ पे यू नो वी विल बी यूजिंग हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश combined. We'll be switching languages in between wherever we feel comfortable. And since Pallavi comes from a non-Hindi background, so I assume she'll be more comfortable with the English language, and which is completely okay, is what I understand. क्योंकि uh, the guest should be, of course, very comfortable about the language they want to speak, right? क्योंकि languages के बारे में आजकल बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती रहती है. And since मैं खुद मराठी हूँ वैसे, but since I want my podcasts to reach a bigger and larger audience, which I feel can happen अगर हिंदी और इंग्लिश में बात की जाए तो that's it. That's why we have stuck to this language. तो टॉपिक हमने सोचा कि किस बारे में बात की जाए देयर हैव बीन सो मेनी टॉपिक्स आई एम श्योर पल्लवी इज वन ऑफ दोज पीपल हु इज आई वुड से अ bibliophile an OG bibliophile who has read enough in her life. I would say one of the few persons that inspired me to take up books, fiction primarily. uh, she's read a lot of literature, haven't you, Pallavi?
Yes, I have, definitely.
Like, can you tell us a few favorite books of yours if you want to, like, if you remember something?
My most favorite would be Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I'm a big fan of Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, but I have not had the good fortune to read Crime and Punishment yet. So that is there. And my one of my dreams is to actually learn Russian good enough so that I can read these works in the original, because I believe they are the top novels in the entire world so far. If you even do a random Google search, you'll find that most of them are Russian novelists. So yeah.
And so also to tell you guys, Pallavi has done a proper course in Russian and she can speak and read and understand Russian, of course, because that's what she's saying. So, like I said, talent का धमाका है ये लड़की prop. तो yeah, like
Saurav is very kind with his words.
I'm just being honest to be like that's what I keep telling her, but then she's not. She doesn't take it, in a मुझे पता नहीं किसी किसी लोगों को होता है ना कि ज़्यादा तारीफ हज़म नहीं होती है तो पल्लवी इज़ डेफिनेटली वन ऑफ दोज पीपल हु इज़ नॉट ओके विद all these nice things I have to say about her. But yes, since you spoke about your favorite book, can you tell us a little bit about what was the book about? And if because there are a lot of people who may be tuning in who haven't read Dostoevsky and Leo Tolstoy. मैंने भी to be honest दोनों को नहीं पढ़ा है, but books खरीद के रखी है वो अलग बात है. But eventually I do want to and will be reading these books. So yeah.
So my favorite genre in terms of cinema or series or books is basically drama. So that's why I picked up Anna Karenina. It's usually also called Anna Karenina. Probably you've heard that.
Can you
Uh,
spell
but
it?
the correct Russian.
Can you spell it for us? Can you spell it for us, Pallavi? Because a lot of people may want to Google the book or want to buy it for themselves. So if you can spell it for us.
Oh yeah, sure. It's Anna, Anna, and then it's Karenina, Karenina, which is what it is usually known as in English, but the correct Russian would be Anna Karenina. So anyway, the book is about actually infidelity, and infidelity is something which has always intrigued me, which is why I picked up this book. Because primarily what I was questioning was that why do people cheat? Simple. And people don't get into relationships or marriages because they want to cheat in the future. Of course not. but what pushes them to do so? What are the circumstances which lead to that? So Hannah Karenina is one of the top novels in this drama genre, and it's an amazing read. When I was reading it, I could not put the book down. Like, I was reading it in a bus, I was reading in the metro, I was reading it while lying down, I was reading it everywhere. So it's a little bit bulky for beginning readers, I would say. And yeah. So do you have anything to add to this? Why do people cheat, Saurabh?
Well, I haven't, explored that particular aspect of life as much as I would want to, or so uh, I don't think I'm the right person to add something to why people cheat. I may just give you a little bit of understanding of why I think that happens. But since we are on that topic, let me come to the the theme that we have chosen for this episode, which is, if I have to be very what do you say uh, specific, is love is political. ये हमने ना मैंने थोड़े दिन पहले एक स्टेटस डाला था तो व्हाट्सएप पे जो 24 घंटे की जो स्टोरी लगती है ना वहीं पे तो लॉट ऑफ पीपल डिड रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट इन अ वेरी पॉजिटिव वे एंड आई जस्ट फेल्ट कि मे बी since we are also talking about infidelity and like it's also part of love and why love is political uh, uh, ये एक क्वेश्चन है मेरे दिमाग में जिसका आंसर मुझे लगता है मुझे पता है बट देन आई वुड लाइक टू explore that question and its answers which I assume exist in many like there are many answers to the question. So uh, since we are discussing about infidelity, let's come to the point first, that is love political? Pallavi, what do you think? Like, do you, I know it could sound a little serious topic and could be a little heavy as well, but then we'll try and keep it lighter and what do you say हल्का-फुल्का बोल सकते हैं अभी फिलहाल के लिए। क्यों? क्योंकि मुझे ऐसे लगता है ना कि जब आप किसी से मोहब्बत, प्यार, इश्क, लव जब भी होता है ना, तो इट्स नॉट प्राइमरीली बेस्ड अपॉन और रूटेड इन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स दैट appeal you about the person. It's much beyond than that. Don't you agree, Pallavi? Like, if you have to have feelings for someone, or if you happen to fall for someone, is it primarily like uh, only about who the person is, or it's also it has layers to it? What do you think?
No, if, for starters, it depends. Love is such a thing that it is an experience which varies from person to person. So a lot of people might not actually agree with what we are talking about right now. Like, yes, I do believe that love is political. There is a power equation in love as well, and that equation is not always balanced on both sides. And there is a certain dynamic to it, which is lopsided at times, which results in situations which, again, if I go back to the cheating thing, it may or may not cause cheating, it may or may not cause the partner to stray, it may or may not cause disinterest, boredom, and all these things. So, yeah, love for me, I think that it is something that arises out of a primary need. Like, we have a need to be loved, we have a need to be wanted. So, and we also have a need to want. So all of these culminates in the expression of love, as the expression of love. And but unfortunately, a lot of people will disagree again. But the equation is always somewhere, I believe that it is always like 60-40, 70-30, something like this. It's never actually 50-50, what we would like to believe.
Since I studied sociology, मेरा यूपीएससी में ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट भी था, but and with that I'm also currently pursuing distance learning from an open university जहाँ पे I'm pursuing masters in sociology. So I just cannot isolate anything from a sociological पर्सपेक्टिव और माय सोशियोलॉजिकल इमेजिनेशन इज़ व्हाट आई बिलीव। तो इसलिए मुझे है ना हमेशा से ये लगता है कि योर सोशल आइडेंटिटीज़ in whatever manner they exist in a way define the kind of love you get to receive or you want to give. So the power dynamics that you were talking about and the lopsided equation that you were talking about, Pallavi, could act in or you come into play in different manners is what I feel. There could be a gender equation to it, which I'm sure a lot of people listening to this would realize, जहाँ पे at least in so-called conservative orthodox societies like that of like an Indian society basically, जहाँ पे even today the labor force participation rate for women hovers somewhere between 20 to 25%, जहाँ पे it gives you an understanding of how really free women are in terms of like मेरे लिए ये है कि economic freedom is the root of your all freedoms. If you can have something which helps you earn, I feel you're free to pursue all those liberties and freedoms that are out there. So basically, since we are talking about labor force participation rate for women in India, which is very, very low, I somehow feel uh, that also translates into the equation you're talking about because uh, since we were talking about women, I guess Pallavi can maybe give us more insights into this of how gender dynamics are impacted by economic freedom or the lack of it.
Okay, loaded question. Uh, Gender dynamics and the economic implications. Right. So, uh, as Saurabh has rightly pointed out, that basically economic freedom is the basic of all freedoms, and without it, you are not really independent or even empowered, so to speak. So, yes, that is there. But in my experience, the typical Indian family, despite I completely agree with the low labor force participation rate and everything. Even the women who are actually working and who are in relationships or are married, even there, despite their so-called economic independence, they are not really independent or empowered. Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, of course,
And yeah, because the thing is that it's not just the mere raw economic freedom that guarantees anything, to be honest. It's your mindset also. And from what I believe, from what I have seen also, is that women's empowerment, we are always talking about, we are always telling the men to do this and to do that. But it's also about women. And I think that women also women hold other women back, you know. They handicap you in ways which you cannot imagine. And for example, a very simple example is that women are known to engage in gossip a lot. And it does not take a lot for a woman to put another woman down, even if that is at the cost of his or her, her reputation, right? So, from what I believe is that empowerment and economic freedom, whatever it has to come from all women. It cannot come from just the women who are working. It cannot come from just the men. Yes, men are there. Men, we are in a patriarchal society, but patriarchy is a lot, I would say, powered by the women, the patriarchal women who exist in our society even now.
well, of course, I cannot disagree with you on that point. But I was since I was talking about economic freedoms, I was also talking about the varying quantums of economic freedoms. I would say because if you look at women who are working and who have a salary to support or who get paid daily wages, will always be more liberated than those who are not allowed to work. Pallavi is what I was trying to say because since we were talking about gender dynamics in India, basically, and it's not only about marriages. Marriages, of course, have a certain amount of love attached to it at times. Mostly, if it's since we are talking about arranged marriages, and for some reason, uh, for a reason they're called arranged marriages. So there will be love, but it will be on the lines of a compromise, is what I understand. But then I could be wrong, and people will disagree with me, and uh, I'm okay with that disagreements. But since we're talking about how, uh, like, because I have seen, yes, you are right that despite women having a good amount of salary or whatever, are not as empowered as they would want to be. But I was trying to, uh, like draw a contrasting figure, I would say, like contrasting picture, jahan pe, there are these women who are not working at all, and then there are few women who have a certain amount of liberty because they earn. तो उनके दोनों के बीच में भी जो डिफरेंस आएगा ना is something which I believe also impacts the gender dynamics, and of course the question of love. तो वहाँ पे political क्या आ जाता है, is something I would like to say, क्योंकि we were also talking about arranged marriages. तो because there's a certain amount of economic uncertainty in the lives of women in India, since spoke about labor force participation rate, women who seek to marry also seek certainty and economic, what do you say, uh, security, which is, I suppose, a universal, which is
Yes,
it,
but
it,
this is also not just in India, not just in arranged marriages. It's supported by biology.
so it's universal. See,
Women are always looking for security. And that's
biology, yes, of course, I do agree it's supported by biology. But then, since we were talking, since there have been multiple ways of feminism across the world, wherein women want to be seen as equals, and want to be seen as participating in equal capacity as well. I somehow feel at times, uh, maybe it's a little hypocritical at times to seek economic uncertainty at the same time when you want to also want to be seen as equal. Like, why not turn the tables at times if you're empowered enough, or and since you are aware of how the gender dynamics play out, तो उसमें भी वो भी हो जाएगा कि if the man is not earning, imagine, I have not seen a lot of marriages जहाँ पे the woman is the primary breadwinner and the man is not working, which is of course okay if you ask me. But normally this thing doesn't happen in an Indian society. Of course, it is very difficult to imagine, but I guess it can be a case in maybe a Western society or something. So
yes.
yeah, मतलब उसमें political क्या है is like lot of people listening to this could be thinking, right? Like the politics that is involved in this is, like, when I see political, like, there's a tendency for people to imagine and equate or hyphenate politics with what happens in the political sphere, जहाँ पे actual party politics जहाँ पे होता है. तो this is not that politics you're talking about.
वही
So,
तो बात है।
now,
उसका बात हम नहीं कर रहे हैं ना, मतलब politics here means a power at a balance.
power, it's basically got to do with power. So since a lot of people listening to this may be a little confused or maybe not clear about the idea that we are talking about, so इसलिए मेरे को लगा कि एक थोड़ा सा एक डिस्क्लेमर देना चाहिए. और एक डिस्क्लेमर देना चाहता हूँ मैं, शायद शुरुआत में ही देना चाहिए था, बट देन these opinions that we are putting out here are our personal opinions, and they have I would say nothing to do with a professional capacity. तो ये बेसिक है बट कहना लाजमी है, तो that's why I'm saying it. You agree with that, Pallavi, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
So politics, पावर के कंटेक्स्ट में बात हो रही थी, एंड when such a dynamics exist in a relationship, marriage, or a basic romantic relationship, what do you think plays out between the couple, Pallavi? Because uh, मतलब सोच समझ के, क्योंकि you cannot be yourself is what I feel at times, because you expect a lot of things from your partner, but at the same time, since you're aware of a lot of things कि अगर मैं ऐसे करूँगी या ऐसे करूँगा तो शायद मुझे मेरे पार्टनर से वो सिक्योरिटी जो इकोनॉमिक टर्म्स में हम बोल रहे थे वो ना मिले. तो हाउ डज दैट इन्फ्लुएंस योर बिहेवियर इन द रिलेशनशिप?
It changes you. It depends on how much you're consumed by it. Speaking from personal experience, I would say that yes, there have been times when I have compromised my own mental well-being for someone else so that that person will not leave. And this is a result of a power imbalance, but he holds the cards and I don't. So yeah, this is there.
That's sad, but I guess most women go through that. And I would say, since I was talking about, see, I'm a man, so I'll give you a man's point of view of the same thing. Because I somehow feel the experiences that we get to, like we have in our life kind of shape our mentality and shape our perceptions about things that happen around us. Uh, because we are talking about the Indian context, I don't think, since I was also talking about sociological perspective or whatever, it's typically what I'm saying is basically commonsensical knowledge. But then, since a lot of people listening to this may have a different perception of a lot of things, what is common sense for me could not be common sense for them. So that's why I have to, mention such things once in a while, because it helps add a certain कॉन्टेक्स्ट टू व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से। तो इंडियन सोसाइटी और इंडियन सोसाइटी में जो भी चीज़ें होती है, मैरिजेस, रिलेशनशिप्स, लिव इन रिलेशनशिप्स, व्हाटएवर, इट कैन नॉट बी स्पोकन अबाउट इन आइसोलेशन ऑफ कास्ट। कास्ट को उससे दूर रख के बात नहीं की जा सकती, इज़ व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज़ caste is also the primary social location and social identity that one kind of relates to in India. There could be a big section out there who may feel that caste is a thing of past, and maybe you can have a casteless society, but that is a very minute, minuscule percentage of population, is what I understand. But for majority, caste dictates a lot of things, especially when you're talking about politics of power. Since I was talking about caste, there was this one interview I was reading about a theater artist and filmmaker, Jyotsna Siddharth, who has, I guess, studied in DU or JNU. I don't remember her, but then she runs the Instagram channel for which is named Project Anti-Caste Love, which is basically uh, stories of people who have experienced the politics of love thanks to caste, and because I somehow feel love exists in India, which is also non-political, and people love openly. But then, when things start to get serious, and when they have to think about settling down with people, I somehow believe the dynamics of caste do come in, and they play a big part for a lot of people, especially for people coming from the marginalized castes and marginalized, underprivileged backgrounds. It's not easy for them to access love in its truest and non-political sense. So, what do you have to think about that, Pallavi? Do you, matlab, I somehow believe, since Pallavi comes from Kolkata and Bengal, and she comes from a certain circle of people who have had the privilege of being educated for at least uh, 2 or 3 generations. So the basically caste dilutes in a way when you have multiple generations of education, but not for many. But since she comes from, which I believe I may have a little bit of bias for Kolkata as being one of the most liberal cities, at least in certain circles of the people I've come across. So maybe she can give us a bit of perspective on that, Pallavi.
Yeah, so caste. So first of all, I would like to just point out one thing, that love is political is something that we were talking about before in the personal space, and now it's sort of in the public domain that we are talking about, which is when caste comes in, right? So
I guess it also,
yes.
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट, बट आई गेस मुझे लगता है कि वो पर्सनल लिस्ट में भी आ जाता है, क्योंकि कास्ट इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी इंटीमेट एंड पर्सनल मैटर एज मच एज इट इज अ सोशल और पॉलिटिकल इशू।
Yeah, now this is where I differ in the sense that caste is not something that is a homogeneous thought all over the country. So, how it is perceived in the north is not how it is perceived in the east. From where I come from and where I am even posted right now, here caste is not something that is really, people don't really give much, care about it. But the funny thing is, then even though caste was never a thing which I grew up seeing, I never felt the differences. I didn't even know what my classmates, my friends' caste was. It was like totally unimaginable for me. But when it comes to marriage, at the end of the day, that is suddenly where all the parents of the country will suddenly start judging you based on your caste. So, like Saurav already said, and I'm reiterating again, that the casteless society in India is technically not possible because of this reason. Because even though it is perceived differently, it manifests itself differently in different parts of the country. At the end of the day, when it comes to marriage, caste is ubiquitous. It is unanimously uh, agreed as a criteria for groom selection. Right. So, being from the East, I would say that yes, I've had a very, very liberal experience and totally not caste-ridden society. We don't have that kind of thing in Kolkata. And I don't see that kind of thing in Tripura as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was fortunate and privileged enough to have had a similar upbringing, Pallavi. I grew up in Belgaum in Karnataka, for the listeners who have not known me. तो उस हिसाब से तो even whatever she said about her schoolmates and growing up, caste was such a non-issue, and it was a completely, like, we never even discussed caste, to be honest. I had no idea how caste plays out in the middle and in the public domain, and how caste dynamics operate. कुछ भी पता नहीं था, like, for majority of my life, like 27-28 साल तक, which is again a very privileged thing to see, because I come from a certain section of the society wherein I was not uh, forced to go through all these things, unlike the majority of the country. तो uh, उसकी वजह से I do feel privileged, and I acknowledge that sense of privilege, but at the same time I do acknowledge the disparity that exists out there. And since Pallavi said, when it comes to marriage, like, आपको अगर पता ही है कि आपको किसी इंसान से प्यार होने वाला है, और उसके साथ आप शादी तभी करोगे जब आपको लगेगा कि कास्ट सेम हो, तो उससे ज़्यादा पॉलिटिकल क्या ही हो सकता है? इज़ व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू कम एट।
Yes, I get it. I get it. Yeah. And eventually it does come in the personal space, as you have said. That is true.
तो
But
हाँ,
but
हाँ।
then I have seen intercaste marriages, and I have seen people not caring much about it. I have seen it in my own family as well. So
Of course, exceptions
again,
exist.
perceptions vary.
Exceptions exist, perceptions vary, but then uh, there was this book I was reading. I tend to, like, if you can give me a minute, uh, it's basically about numbers, and it's written by S. Rukmini S. I'm so sorry, I'm not able to recall the name. I can put the name in the description box of this podcast. If you're really interested, you can go and check there. But then what she says, she has had a thorough research, and she was, I'm not sure if she's a cephalologist, but yes, no, she's not a cephalologist, but then she works with numbers, is what I understand, and she is into data and data analytics, and she gives us this sample size, or she gives us this the research result, which says that not more than 4 to 5% of people in India have had intercaste love marriages. So that is, like, can you even imagine, like, we are 150 crore people, close to 150 crore people, and out of which only 4% people have chosen to marry across and beyond their castes. And which is changing, of course, but it is very limited to the urban circles, educated circles, and cosmopolitical circles. But then, since caste is a primary factor that determines power dynamics in the country, political dynamics in the country. It's literally, you find any issue, study about it, the root, in my opinion, lies in caste and caste dynamics. So no matter what you say, no matter how you say it, the caste dynamics will always be a major political
Influence when it comes to the picture. Yeah.
तो आई मीन लाइक अभी कास्ट के बारे में डिस्कस करने लग गए तो भाई पूरा दिन या पूरा साल कम हो जाएगा सिंस इट्स अ वेरी layered and complex and complicated issue is what I feel. But then since most of the listeners who may have tuned it may agree with a few things that we have discussed, but at the same time will have different opinions about how love is political or is not political. So apart from gender, and since we have already discussed caste, and since did mention Jyotsna Siddharth's Instagram channel, Project Anti Caste Love, is what you can search on Instagram and make sure you follow that page because it's got amazing content out there. Because it's got letters, love letters by people who have had relationships but couldn't go beyond a certain level because caste came in between, and she is one of them who has had experience because she's a Dalit feminist is what I understand. And of course her caste played a big role when she was involved with someone who was from so-called upper caste family or upper caste community. So yeah, it kind of triggered a lot of things for her, but she eventually went back and decided that that was supposed to be her thesis topic. And she did have a lot of research, like she did I mean uh, analyze it from a very academical point of view, and that's how she came to that idea that people should be aware of these things. And uh, like for love to be truest, like I as somehow believe truest, like true love is a very subjective thing to say because there will always be a lot of things on your mind जहाँ पे आपको ये लगेगा कि ये सारी चीज़ें होनी चाहिए. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस पल्लवी, चूंकि कास्ट और जेंडर हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, थोड़ा बहुत इकोनॉमिक्स का भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. व्हाट एल्स डू यू थिंक इज जहाँ पे which plays an important role or bigger role in terms of relationships, love, and anything? Can you think of something? I do
I
have.
think love, I think I feel, and I also, so this is like Saurav's optional was sociology, mine was anthropology. And in the course of studying that subject, what I found out was that love marriages are actually the exception and not the norm. So the intercaste love marriage that you're talking about, 4%, it fits right in because it's not the rule, it's the exception. And most marriages cross culturally all over the world, not just in the country, they are arranged historically over time, temporarily or over time, spatially. It's always something else. It's about position in your society, it's about status, it's about prestige, it's about access to resources, which is what we discussed in the economic point of view. So, yeah. So, status, prestige, this will also be related to caste in our country. And yeah, so it is always, these are always the primary markers which decide choice of spouse. And it is not love. Love,
Well, love,
at the
not
end,
really love, is
I mean,
something.
it is not even you will hear people saying that it is not even necessary for you to love your spouse. You can still make a marriage work without, you know, loving that person necessarily. So it is just, I feel personally that it is just us few liberal minded, who grew up in such a landscape. Maybe we have love marriages in our family. So we have seen that, and that is what has given us this idea. And of course, the what we see in cinemas. So all of that has shaped our thinking into, morphed our thinking into this kind of a way that yes, love is the primary predictor for success in any relationship or marriage. But that is, I think, the least people are least bothered about it, to be honest, when it comes down to the basics.
So it's basically that we're talking about the fortunate few that we, have, like.
I'm not sure whether we are fortunate or not.
I mean, like for me, love is not love really. It's a see. My mother also teaches sociology. She is a guest lecturer at a law college in Belgium. So since I have like grown up listening to a lot of sociological discourse in the family, in the not in the family as such, at least with my parents, basically, my dad and her, they discuss a lot of things, and she has always said that love, like sorry, not love, but marriages have always been a social contract, between families and not two individuals. So the liberal definition or the liberal expectation from love is that it should be a union of two people, and families should be involved in some sense or until in,
The union, I would disagree. It's a union of two families. It's not just two people.
so that is what you're talking about marriage, but I was also talking about love.
Okay, okay, all right. Yeah.
So
Love is a union of two people, yeah, supposedly, but at the end of the day, if you want to make it last in this country, your families are going to get involved. So, yeah.
So love is not love actually. If you have to think about it from the, it's just it's so. But we also missed out on a major part. It's already been 41 minutes, so if I'm not sure, अगर आप अब तक यहाँ पे सुनते आए हो इस चीज को, and if you're still hanging around, it's a I believe it's a good thing for me. But then we haven't really touched upon same gender love, right? Like because it is like in the recent few years, people have been very vocal about loving people from the same gender and also loving people from all the genders. So it's I believe it's a truest form of love. Yes, it could be political. It has layers of politics in it, and economics, caste will definitely be involved, status, privilege, and everything. But to me, up to a certain extent, where people are loving people from their own gender or loving people from any gender, are the closest when it comes to true love. Because someone I spoke to who was uh, who has had what do you say, love for both the genders, she told me that क्या फर्क पड़ता है जेंडर से, प्यार तो प्यार है भाई, चाहे किसी से हो. And it was a very beautiful thing for me to understand and hear, to be honest. तब मुझे समझ में आया कि भाई, यस, उसका ये था कि शादी करूंगी तो मेरे जात में ही करूंगी, वो अलग बात है. But when she said that, right, she was, I guess, at a vulnerable best, and it was a very beautiful thing for me. तो उसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है, पल्लवी?
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with this. It's like, actually, with our conversation from the very beginning was discussing love is political, but we actually failed to touch upon what constitutes love in general. So, what do you mean by it? Only then can we talk about its nature being political or not. So, anyway,
I mean, no, it's okay. Like you can also touch upon it
yeah.
now. Like I don't mind. See, this is anything, but this, I don't want it to be. See, there's also a certain politics involved when you want it. When you want want things to be in a certain way, like a lot of podcasts and everything, like the content that we consume is made in a certain manner, which is also aligning with the norms of the like whatever exists in the community, right? That uske
Okay.
uh,
Mm.
तो वो मेरे लिए है नहीं. दिस कैन बी एनीथिंग. ये 40 मिनट का मैंने बना दिया या 2 घंटे का बना लिया, मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता, क्योंकि आई एम नॉट समवन हु वांट्स टू अलाइन विद व्हाट द सोसाइटी इज एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम मी, या फिर इन जनरल. तो इवन इफ यू वांट टू टच अपॉन व्हाट लव इज एंड व्हाट कॉन्स्टिट्यूट्स लव फॉर यू, एंड what is something that you feel that you are in love, you can also throw light upon that as of now as well, and then we'll touch upon the same gender wala thing.
Yeah, so for me, love is something that can happen to anybody and it can be directed towards anybody as long as you there's a, like I said before, there's a need, there's a basic human need in us to be wanted and to want someone. So I think these are the only two things that predict or tell you whether you're in love. The rest of it is childish infatuation or crush, maybe. The butterflies in the stomach and the, heartbeats, heart skipping a beat and things like that. But if you boil it down to what it truly is, it is basically a need to be wanted by somebody and a need to want someone in return. And this is where I believe there is a certain imbalance. I might want someone more than that person might want me. So, this is where the political aspect comes in between, I would say.
Well, to be honest, love to me is something wherein you can be with some. Uh, l- wherein you can, like, I'll touch upon this, and I'll also say something else which I have on my mind. There's so many things in my mind. Like I keep saying, a lot of people to a lot of people I keep talking to these days, like parallel things run in parallel tracks in my mind. So for now, yes. Love is something wherein you can shed all the layers of pretensions, and you can be yourself. Let go of not all, if I may say so, but majority of your masks, and uh, try and be the
I
you.
have to disagree. Saurabh, I have to disagree with this.
Okay.
What you are suggesting is the most ideal form of the utopian idea
Yeah, that's
of
why,
where
like,
there is
that.
no mask, where you get to be yourself. And this is totally not true.
Of course, it's not true. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it happens. I definitely agree it's utopian, but at the same time, this is something I have experienced until up to a certain extent in the early 20s of my life, because that is when you are like, like
Most vulnerable.
most
Yeah.
vulnerable and innocent and naive, and at the same time too much in love. So since that was one of the very beautiful things that I experienced in my life, so I somehow believe that it has set a certain benchmark for me and a certain threshold for me, जहाँ पे मेरे को लगता है कि अगर होना चाहिए तो ऐसे होना चाहिए, नहीं होता तो भी ठीक है, होगा भी नहीं वैसे, क्योंकि एज़ यू सेड इट्स अ यूटोपियन थिंग, बट येस, सिंस आई वाज़ टॉकिंग अबाउट कि मेरे लिए क्या है, अगर ऐसा है तो भई मज़ा है, और वैसा नहीं भी है तो भी मिलना ही प्यार एक बड़ी बात है आजकल के दौर में। तो या
Yes.
बट य
Yeah, that is true.
मतलब दिस ऑफ
Um,
या आई एम सो सॉरी, यू कैन कंटिन्यू।
no, you please continue.
अ, मतलब बेसिकली हम प्यार भी कैसे करते हैं, किससे करते हैं, क्यों करते हैं, इतने बड़े सवाल है ये। इट्स दे आर नॉट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड simple questions, because there's one thinker that I also studied in sociology, who is a trans woman, Raven Connell करके, जहाँ पे she also explains hegemonic masculinity, जहाँ पे you know like we have a certain criteria for where we want to fall in love, like basically physical attributes, materialistic aspects of तो वो सब भी एक 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 क्या बोलते हैं, कॉन्स्ट्रक्ट बना रखा है लोगों ने कि ऐसे होगा तो ही आपको लाइक like we have a certain way to create hierarchies of how people look and appear, and at the same time how they carry themselves. So in a way, uh, the hegemonic masculinity जहाँ पे होती है ना, कि hegemon जो होता है, like I don't know hegemony कितने लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है, but if you can understand hegemony as a word, हिंदी में मैं क्या बताऊँ आपके लिए, कि जिसका वर्चस्व है, जहाँ पे someone is getting to dominate, unquestioned domination, थोड़ा बहुत जो एक एक सर्टेन पीक अचीव कर चुका है। इट कैन बी इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ कंट्रीज, मेन, women also in a certain sense, but वो है hegemony। तो hegemonic masculinity क्या होती है? uh, like she says, Raven Connell says that men in the Hollywood have the privilege of deciding what is okay and who is and how do they look, and I'm like, you ca- end up creating a certain hierarchy, as I said, right, of people based upon their appearances. So she says hegemonic masculinity is responsible for what we perceive as beautiful or what we perceive as, above average or below average in the society. जहाँ पे men get to decide how hegemonic men should appear, and the women they want to be with, उनकी appearance कैसी होनी चाहिए. Like she is what I was given an example of, or I've read it somewhere, like how James Bond movies are shot, right? Like you have the man looking in a certain way, like he appears in a certain way, wears these tuxedos and three-piece suits, and is well shaven and so.
Have to go so far into James Bond. You can just, think of Animal or Kabir Singh type of movies where which have been alarmingly they have been massive hits with people.
तो वहाँ पे
And that is also the similar aspect is shown.
तो मेरे को ये बोलना था इवेंचुअली कि इट इज लाइक बॉलीवुड आल्सो इन अ वे इज इंस्पायर्ड बाय व्हाट हैपेंस इन द हॉलीवुड इज व्हाट आई वाज ट्राइंग टू कम एट बिकॉज़ द वेस्ट एन्जॉयज the West enjoys a hegemony also in terms of soft power, right? So, like I was talking about the roots. So, Bond girl जहाँ पे आती है ना, the girls that are casted in Bond movies, the women basically, they are also shown in a certain way. Only an exception that I remember was Die Another Day, जहाँ पे Halle Berry का role था, where a black woman played Bond girl's role. Otherwise, mostly what I've seen throughout the Bond movies is, they have only casted blonde women or white women. So, which also, seeps into the perceptions of Indians or otherwise the developing nations that we have, because we, of course, don't get to, exercise that amount of hegemony and soft power as much as they do. तो हमारी मूवीज़ में भी वो दिखता है, एंड हमारी मूवीज़ में वो दिखता है कि हमारी हीरोइन ऐसी होनी चाहिए, हीरोइन हीरोइन की तरह होनी चाहिए. नंदिता दास, व्हाई कुड नंदिता दास नेवर बिकम एन ऐश्वर्या राय, राइट? तो वो उस परसेप्शन में बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. एंड दैट आल्सो सीप्स डाउन इनटू योर मेंटालिटी ऑफ हाउ यू परसीव योर पार्टनर शुड बी. So you understanding what I'm trying to say? So eventually your love was also impacted and influenced by like what you consume. तो उसमें भी पॉलिटिक्स है. एंड क्योंकि अगर वो आपका क्राइटेरिया मीट नहीं हो रहा है कहीं ना कहीं, एंड यू समहाउ एंड अप फीलिंग कि यू नॉट फिटिंग इन, तो उसकी वजह से भी आपके दिमागी तौर पे आपकी हालत पतली हो सकती है, और होती है बहुत लोग. यू नो लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर नॉट हैप्पी विद द वे द पार्टनर्स आर, बिकॉज दे हैव अ सर्टेन परसेप्शन ऑफ अबाउट हाउ लव शुड बी फॉर देम. तो उसके बारे में बात करने की कोशिश कर रहा था मैं, लाइक यू कैन ऐड समथिंग टू दैट मीनिंग.
The perception of love varies from person to person, and we all have some idea of it, and we are always trying to fit the other person in that idea. The concept of, animal and animus, I think, by Freud, where he talks about each person, be it a man or a woman, they have their own uh, idea or own perception of how their partner would be. And it's something that is cultivated from the very beginning. It's not something that suddenly appears or hits you at puberty. You realize, okay, this is how my girlfriend should be. No, it's something that you've been cultivating ever since you were born. You've been looking at your sister, you've been looking at your mother, you've been looking at your friends who are girls, and overall getting a perception of things. So, yeah.
मतलब ठीक है आप.
और ये हमारे सबके दिमाग के अंदर कुछ तो है, and we are all trying to do the same thing. I mean, you can't blame us for that.
I'm not blaming
We all
people, but
have
then I'm just
own ideas of what is right and what we want to love. Okay, like for example, if I choose somebody, like okay, I like this person or I love this person, it means that मुझे लगता है कि I deserve this person's attention, that I deserve this person's time, energy, and everything. So yeah. And sorry, actually, I'm going a little tangent. outline to what we are
Of course, no.
really talking about?
I mean, like, it's come on. It's the very essence of my podcast is it can be anything. It can be impromptu and it can. So, well, it's unscripted. It will be unfiltered. It will not be edited. No portion will be left out. And I believe, क्योंकि also there's a sense of understanding for me that in a way I don't want to be aligned with the norms. It may be a little difficult for me eventually, but then it's about breaking the norms. And since we were talking about marriages and love and everything, uh, both of us are 30 plus. I am 33 and Pallavi is, I believe, 31.
Yes, right.
So, क्योंकि in a way we are also breaking a lot of norms by not being married at this age. Kyuki it also adds a certain amount of perception and context to the listeners, because when you get to know about the people speaking and their personal histories, I feel it it adds a layer to the understanding of what we are trying to say. तो इसलिए मेरे को वो कहना पड़ा. But otherwise, yeah, since we were talking, we have spoken about so many things, and we were talking about the same gender love, and we decided कि क्योंकि Pallavi thought about adding something, and she was like कि maybe I shouldn't add it now, and I told her it's completely okay if you do. So if we want to like touch upon a little bit on that as well, Pallavi, same gender wala.
Acha, team gender wala. Okay. I haven't read much about it, to be honest. I don't think I'm a very good person to talk about this.
हाँ, मतलब वो जो हेजेमोनिक मैस्कुलिनिटी के बारे में बात कर रहा था ना।
वो होता है, पता है।
नो, नो, नो।
तो मतलब एक चीज़ मैं बताना चाहती हूँ कि this is something which I've been struggling with in my head at least for a long time, is that this multiple gender movement, that gender is just spectrum and it's not like binary and this and that, and then there are 40 different words for 40 different genders. I have trouble agreeing to this. See, you can fall in love, you can be attracted to anybody. That can be a person, it can be a man or a woman, regardless of gender. So that's fine with me. And that I can understand. And I can also uh, perceive it. However, what is going, in the trend nowadays is that you have to be like these pronouns and these things. I don't necessarily agree with this because even in same gendered relationships, you see that kind of a power dynamic which is seen in a heterosexual relationship. You see one of the, let's say there's a lesbian couple. So there's two women. One of them is taking up the masculine role and one of them is taking up the feminine role. There's always this duality which I think penetrates even same sex relationships, and it's something that it prevents me from agreeing with this multiple gender is a spectrum kind of an idea. Because at the end of the day, it boils down to only the binary explanation. I don't know, you might disagree with me on this, but I'm still undecided on this.
See, I do agree on the duality of any relationship, that there will always be a partner who is in a way, in a very popular term, dominant, and the other one could be a little submissive.
Yes.
So that definitely exists, that dynamics of power in a way in any, even in the same gender relationships. But at the same time, since you're talking about pronouns, I somehow believe maybe even I don't have a clear cut idea on the spectrum of genders that you were talking about, that there are at least 40 genders you can choose from, depending upon how you feel about it. But then uh, the pronouns that you were talking about, I just feel it's a way of people trying to assert their existence, because uh, I have been told that you cannot misgender someone, who since you are a cisgendered person, you have a certain amount of cisgendered male, because you have a certain amount of privileges, and maybe things may not appear to you, or your sensibilities may not agree with certain amount of perception that people have on the other side of this gender spectrum. तो वो सब चीज़ें हैं एंड ऑनेस्टली सिंस आई एम नॉट डायरेक्टली इम्पैक्टेड बाय दैट आई वुड बी ओके विद पीपल यूजिंग द प्रोनाउंस whatever suits them, but if it has you know I mean, like, I don't understand if there's any harm that they're causing to the society. Yes, there's the
I was trying to point towards is that, see, if somebody personally that I know on at a personal level wants me to address him or her as not him or as they, okay, so I'm fine with it. Of course, I have no problem. I will respect however you want to be seen. But the thing is, to impose that kind of a thing on everybody is not something that I agree with, because then, as we had originally talked about, that our topic was going to be language. It affects language. Do you realize, Saurabh? If I suddenly today just eliminate all he and she and just use they, then it, it messes with your language. It will mess with all languages all over the world.
I mean, like, since uh, I would say, see, I'm trying to be a little political now since we're talking about politics in love, and I have to be a little political, uh, extra political, if you may say, since we currently lack diversity on a panel because it includes only you and me, who I believe are cisgendered, who, uh, who I believe are cisgendered in a way, and we have had certain amount of privileges. So I don't want to say something which may not, which may in a way misrepresent their feelings and their emotions. Uh, and it's not only political that I'm being. I understand it's because उनका जो perception है, उनका जो understanding है, maybe they will be they or whoever, if we have in the future someone joining us on this, but and if we end up discussing this, I guess they could be able to add a certain amount of in-depth understanding of things.
But I would definitely love to be a part of that debate if you
Yeah,
ever have the opportunity to
we can have
hold someone.
we can have a continuation part two of this discussion as well, because it will definitely give a lot of insights for us to understand from someone who is not cisgendered. So definitely, if I can get in touch with someone and if someone is kind enough to agree, तो उसमें तो कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं होनी चाहिए. But अभी के लिए, I guess we have had a great amount of discussion. I just hope and wish that you had a great time, talking to me on this podcast, and I hope you had fun. Basically, Pallavi, what do you have to say on that?
First of all, I'd like to apologize to the audience for being such a terrible guest because it was sort of doing all the talking and lifting up the heavy weights while I was just, leaving around, to be honest. Uh, but yeah, Saurav is a fantastic host, as has been evidenced by earlier episodes of the same podcast. So I've had fun, definitely. And this is my first ever time speaking in this way. Usually, such conversations I have in my head with myself. So
No, we do
it
speak
was a
all the phone.
fantastic time being with you. Yeah.
नहीं, we also discuss a lot of things with I discuss a lot of things with Pallavi on the phone call as well. But yes, since मेरे को था कि कुछ, क्योंकि I always felt कि फ़ोन पे शायद since Pallavi is connecting with me on her phone, मेरे लिए था कि फ़ोन पे करने से अच्छा है कि wherever we get along and get in the same city, कभी मिलेंगे शायद तब रिकॉर्ड कर लेंगे. बट मेरे था कि कर ही लेते हैं भाई, अब इतना रोका नहीं जा रहा मुझसे. बट as I said, she's always very kind and not okay with being taking niceties about her. She has done a lot of talking in the episode, and she has been very, very what do you say? Correct. Not correct is a very basic word, but what if I have to use any other word? Being very ऐसे हो जाता है मेरे को व्हेनेवर आई थिंक ऑफ समथिंग, एक वर्ड अटक जाता है दिमाग में एंड आई कैन नॉट कंप्लीट द सेंटेंस, बी इट हिंदी और बी इट इंग्लिश, क्योंकि आई एम समवन हु ग्रू अप स्पीकिंग 4 लैंग्वेजेस. सो थोड़ा-सा दिमाग में हलचल होने लग जाती है कि कौन-सा वर्ड है. बट येस, भावनाएँ पहुँचनी चाहिए, तो मेरी भावना आपको द इमोशंस मैटर मोर. सो थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग पार्ट ऑफ दिस, Pallavi, and it was great hosting you, and it was a lot of fun talking to you because I somehow believe Pallavi is one of the very few people in my immediate circle जहाँ पे मैं सारी चीज़ें किसी के साथ इतनी डेप्थ में अच्छे से प्यार से बिना किसी ऑफेंस के और जजमेंट के डिस्कस कर सकता हूँ एंड इट्स an absolute privilege being a friend of you, Pallavi. So I can't thank you enough for that. So yeah, thanks for being part of this.
Yeah, you're welcome. Most welcome.
या तो दोस्तों करते हैं खत्म 1 घंटे से ऊपर हो गया है एंड आई एम
Yes.
वेरी वेरी होपफुल वेरी लाइक आई विश कि आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आए और हमारे आगे भी ऐसे कुछ एपिसोड्स हम रिकॉर्ड करने का सोचेंगे और आपके साथ जुड़े रहेंगे तो ट्यून इन होने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया एंड मिलते हैं दिस इज सौरभ साइनिंग ऑफ बाय सी यू